The Lenovo 7i has some great features for a gaming laptop, but there are some important issues that you need to know about before you consider it. You might have noticed that this thing is covered in RGB lighting. This includes the keyboard, a bar that runs along the left, right, and front underneath for a kind of underglow effect, both exhausts on the rear, and the O on the Legion logo on the lid. All of these can be controlled together or independently with the Corsair iCUE software. But this is where our first major issue comes in. Basically, the Corsair software drains the battery. Now you can fix this by disabling the Corsair software, and this will actually still let you adjust the RGB. Or alternatively, you can uninstall the software, but then you can't manage it. In theory, this one can be fixed by a future update. While reviewing this machine, the iCUE software actually updated twice, so it seems like they are putting updates out, so hopefully that one gets fixed. Now without the software wasting the battery, I was actually getting some pretty decent results, over 7 hours in my YouTube playback test, which is a good result for a gaming laptop. One of the best things about the 7i is the screen. Now it is available with different options, but mine has great brightness, excellent color gamut, and a fair response time and refresh rate. Mine also has G-Sync, so overall it's a good gaming panel. Cooling is an area where the 7i could definitely improve. It's marketed with a vapor chamber cooler, but not all models actually have that. And it's not that clear when browsing the Lenovo website to tell if you're actually going to get it or not. I think they can definitely improve the website to make it less confusing and not as misleading. I've already seen quite a few posts on places like Reddit where people have ordered one and they didn't get the vapor chamber cooler. In any case, even with the vapor chamber cooler, I didn't find the results to be all that impressive when compared against other gaming laptops I've tested. In most of the tests, it was still thermal throttling. You can check out my detailed thermal testing over here. CPU performance also wasn't great due to thermal throttling. It was one of the lowest performing 8-core laptops I've tested so far. Inside we've got 2 memory slots, Wi-Fi 6 card, 2 storage slots, and 80 watt-hour battery down the front. Build quality seems fairly good as it's an all-metal design. There's not that much flex when pushing down hard or bending the screen, but there are some things to be aware of. My panel seems to be bent or something. The left side isn't sitting flush with the keyboard, while the right was fine. This might just be my unit though. Others I've seen online look fine. If you push on the touchpad near the top, it goes down below the chassis, so dust and stuff could potentially get inside there, though I did need to push down more than I normally would for this. The I/O is pretty decent. On the left from the back, there's a Type-C Thunderbolt 3 port with DisplayPort support, USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type-C port with DisplayPort 1.4, and 3.5mm audio combo jack. On the right, there's just a USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type-A port. The back has a HDMI 2.0 output, 2 USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-A ports, Gigabit Ethernet, the power input, and Kensington lock slot. There are icons on the back that light up so you can easily see where you're plugging cables into from the front without the need to turn it around. My 7i is spec'd fairly high. Nvidia's new Max-Q Dynamic Boost gets the 2070 Max-Q up to 105 watts, and the option of disabling Optimus further boosts performance. Definitely no issues running games at max settings here. The Lenovo Advanced BIOS has plenty of options if you want to tweak your system. You can enable undervolting through here and more. The speakers are underneath and are okay for a gaming laptop. They're about average, but there was a little bass. The keyboard and precision touchpad were good to use overall, with the exception of that issue I noted earlier when you push down on the top of the touchpad. And I appreciate that we've got larger arrow keys here. A lot of other gaming laptops keep those smaller. The camera is above the screen in the center, and it's got a physically sliding privacy shutter. The 7i gaming laptop has some nice features, including an excellent screen, which offers a good combination for both gamers and content creators. Mine has great brightness, excellent color gamut, and G-Sync with fair enough response times. But there are different options you can get when ordering, so results will vary. It's quite visually striking with all dat RGB, but you can customize that or turn it off if you prefer. The underglow is nowhere near as obnoxious as say the MSI GE66 or Asus Scar 3, so it's at least a little toned down there, but yeah, there is RGB all over this thing. And despite the thermals, it does still perform very well in games. The main issues include some build quality quirks, but your mileage may vary on that. The cooling isn't that impressive. I'm testing the MSI GE66 at the moment, video on that coming soon, so make sure you're subscribed, and despite having higher specs, that one just outperforms this. It clocks higher and runs cooler. It could just be an issue with my particular unit, so you might want to check check out other reviews and see what temperatures they get. There's also, of course, the battery problem. Now, while you can fix that, I think it's a pretty poor out-of-box experience, especially for most people that just don't know any better. They're going to turn the machine on and see 2 hours of battery life and probably just return it. And this is already happening. Just check the reviews on the Lenovo website or Amazon, and people are noting poor battery life. Hopefully this gets their attention and they do a software update to fix it. But yeah, if you do know what you're doing, you can get some pretty good battery life out of it. Now, something tells me you want to know how this laptop performs in games. Lucky for you, I've tested out 20 different games at all setting levels on this laptop, and also compared it against some others so you can see the differences. You can check out my benchmarks here. Otherwise, if you're new to the channel, then get subscribed for future laptop reviews like this one. I'll have the Lenovo Legion 5 coming soon, and you definitely don't want to miss that.